Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hi, Jeff. I see you over there in the chat. Get those fingers moving on the keyboard, guys. Let us know that you're here and where you're from. We're so excited to have you with us for the broadcast. We'll be getting started shortly. Hello to Rick and Carmen and James and everybody else here. A very special welcome if this is your first broadcast, not just of 2024, but your first one with us as a partner here at G&G. We're very glad to have you. We will be getting started in just about 6.5 minutes, so make sure that you have your chat box open and you're ready for all the content today. Hello again, everyone. I see so many of you hopping on and you're on YouTube. That's excellent. For those of you who are maybe on the broadcast stream page, I do recommend heading on over to YouTube. It's a great place to be able to view it and use the chat so you can interact with us throughout the event. We're going to get started shortly. Well, officially, welcome to the broadcast today, our first broadcast of 2024. We are so excited to have you all with us. We've got a lot to cover today. One of the things I want to remind you, if you are newer to our broadcast, first of all, a special welcome. We're so excited to have you here. There are 3 ways to watch, and if you are newer, you may be on the live web link. But for interactive ability, the best viewing, we do recommend heading on over to YouTube. So go ahead and head on over there now if you haven't already. We want you using that chat box, the comment box today. One of the main reasons is it's interactive. We want to hear from you. We want to take your questions, want to see your comments, but you can also get entered in a kit giveaway. So we do have a marketing kit giveaway as long as you have liked the Facebook page, follow us on YouTube, and you are interactive right now in that chat box down below. So YouTube, it might be on the side for you. If you're interactive in that, you do get entered in that kit giveaway. Now, again, I mentioned it is the first broadcast of 2024. And there's so much to cover to make sure you're doing everything you need with your training and getting all your questions answered to make this year the biggest year ever. Now, to do so, I want to welcome in today Ryan and Kendra. Ryan and Kendra, welcome.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you. We are live from a new studio. Kendra, I saw a few questions, like, are these really live? Yes. Here's proof.
Yeah, see?
In fact, the way we'll prove it is you can ask questions and we'll answer them.
We'll answer them for real.
Yeah. So welcome to a new year, and we're in our new studio. I'm excited. Construction was going on for the last few months. And yeah, we're excited to be here. So with that, Kendra, comes a brand new format,
right,
as well. No more 3,000 slides.
Thank you.
59 minutes of slide deck and 1 minute of Q&A.
Thank you. They serve their purpose, but they take a long time to create, and sometimes we only get so much use out of them. So I like the fact that this is going to be a new format that's all about you. And the way that this was developed was with you in mind. We want full interaction. We want to really connect with you. And in this new format, you'll see that we're going to be able to bring you tools and like immediately see how you get to use them and interact with them. And it's just a way to connect and make you way more successful through personal connection than we've ever been able to do before.
Yeah. In fact, that's what, when we sit down and talk about what we want the broadcast to be, we're here to make you successful, and that's really the bottom line of it. And so when we look at this, and we do this, Kendra, with everything, we're saying, okay, what's the message we want? What's going to help everybody? What's the slide deck that's needed to illustrate that point? So we've always been looking at this as an avenue of what would make you successful. But the problem is this whole process, Kendra, starts weeks in advance. Where we're saying, what do our partners need? And really what we want to do is we want to be in real time looking at what you need and in real time answering that, as opposed to sometimes we're like, wow, in December we had a lot of questions about this, so in January we should cover this. Well, that's a lost 30 days. So
we found that the connection to make that happen was immediate access to us.
Yeah.
Like, you all need immediate access to us to be able to ask questions in real time, to be able to share stories of things that you've encountered in the field, or maybe you have a question about what happens if this happens? What happens if I use my system this way? Oh, by the way, this happened to me. And if we're able to pull in those questions and those stories and those interactions into this format, you all get to, kind of glean from them and learn from them and get successful based on our entire community, not just one email to support, or reading the emails from us, or you sitting on the end of a really great broadcast but not being able to interact.
Yeah, exactly. So let me tell you what the format's going to be like. So for today, we do still have a slide deck because they're like deep in my DNA. But what we're doing instead is we just have a short topic to get us started and to spawn some questions. So even right now, you can go in, as Heather was just mentioning, and you can enter questions. We're going to talk for maybe 5-6 minutes about a topic. And, then from there, we're going to spend the rest of the time going through questions. But Heather, I actually want to start with, you had a graphic up a minute ago, and the how do I. So I love this, and Kendra, I love this graphic that you and the team have put together. So, how do I make millions in commissions? How do I make 2024 my biggest year? How do I get started with training or move to the next level with training? How do I get all my questions answered? When you're thinking through these things, I really want you to focus and understand what it takes to make 2024 your biggest year. And I know it's like a catchy thumbnail.
It is.
But at the same time, it's what does it take to make 2024 your most successful year? And Kendra, this really starts with a good plan.
Right. I appreciated the way that this kind of came together, because to get questions answered like this, you need a plan. You need a way of approach. And for this conversation, we're going to use the analogy of a blueprint, because it's basically the same thing. If you're going to build anything, you have to start with some type of a blueprint. And in keeping with that analogy, if you're building a building, blueprint, right? And when you're building a building, you have a cornerstone. You have a place that you're starting from. And that cornerstone really is going to be the thing that aligns everything for the success of that building. And so in our conversation today, you do have a cornerstone for your success for 2024. And your cornerstone for success this year is going to be utilizing specialized tax incentives with your clients. The success that that's going to build is going to push you forward the entire year. And we'll talk more about how that's going to work in just a second.
Yeah, and this isn't to take away from any service that you offer. It's not to take away from any service we offer. It's not to pull from expense reduction. It's not to pull back from underpayment audit or any. You say, wait a minute, but I thought, I just attended, webinars on underpayment audit, and I've seen, webinars on ERC and different things like that. I want you to understand, and we're going to help you understand in this, why specialized tax incentives is I love that word you use, cornerstone.
It's the building block that you use to build your entire building, right?
Yeah.
So all of those things that Ryan mentioned, those other services, they're all a part, right? Each one has their own stack or their own level for success.
Yeah.
But you have to start somewhere. And there's a reason that starting with specialized tax incentives is going to push you all the way.
Now, whether you're an expert on specialized tax incentives or you have never heard the term before, I'm going to teach you in about the next 3 minutes literally everything you need to know about tax incentives. Okay?
Do they believe us?
I don't think they do. No. So I want you to understand, we're going to do it in just 4 short points on everything you need to know. But I want you to understand, this isn't a training on tax incentives. Okay? I'm going to tell you everything you need to know, and here it is. Point number 1 that you need to understand is that you are giving away money to your clients, okay? And it's literally free money that sits out there, is available for your clients, and when it goes away or when a new year passes, it's gone. So Kendra, we just rolled into a new year, 2023's money, or it's more complicated than that, but last year's money,
how much do we have to work with?
Is gone.
The big question, right?
Yeah.
So last year's is gone. I don't think you all realize that you have right now at your disposal $2.3 trillion available. And that's just within the services that we here at GMG work with. That's not everything the government's utilizing. That's just what we have that can offer. And that's money that basically you have in your back pocket that you get to whip out and start giving to potential clients. Like, think about it in that manner.
Yeah, and the other thing I want you to understand about this, so you've got this money, you've got $2.3 trillion. Get this part through your head right now. If you get nothing else out of this, get this point. You're not selling anything, okay? Now, you sell a car. You sell real estate. You sell, an insurance policy. There's a lot that professionals do sell in this world. Tax incentives aren't one of them. And the reason you're not selling them is because they're out there, they're available, and it's free money for your clients. And so understand, Kendra, they're not selling anything. What you're doing is you're taking $2.3 trillion that's sitting over here, and you need to walk around like you have $2.3 trillion available to you in your pocket. And the name of the game, and this leads me to my second point, is that you make money every time you give money away.
Yep.
Okay, so think about what Kendra just said. So there's $2.3 trillion that's in your pocket. And it's free money that you can give out to clients, and you make money every time you give some of that money away.
So then something naturally happens. If you're out there giving money away, do you think a client is going to not continue to kind of keep in touch with you,
no,
work with you? No, these are called lifetime clients from that point forward. And there's a reason.
Residual.
If I work with somebody and they get me money, and I'm able to retain money because I'm working with them, I'm staying with that person.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. And we just processed, it's January. So we just processed our annuals, like our R&D renewals every year. And a ton of them come in at the beginning of the year. Most of these people have been with us for tons of years. Some of them go back 20 years from the very beginning.
I've got clients I haven't touched in 15 years.
Yep.
I signed them one time. I gave them my free money. Kendra, every year, every January, they just come back because why would you go anywhere? It's
Exactly.
free money.
Like, we have a media company. We've worked with them, I think, almost 10 years now. They every year get 40 grand. Now, 40 grand is not a huge benefit, but do you think they're going anywhere?
No.
Every year? They just talked to our team on the phone the other day. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We're there 40 grand that they get every year, and they're going to revisit us, and we're going to look at everything
Lifetime
for them.
residuals. Kendra, I've been talking a lot. That was points 1 and 2. Point 1 was There's free money. Point 2 is that you make money every time you give money away.
Point
Kendra,
three,
point 3.
this isn't new to us. So we're not new to this game. We've been doing this, GMG's been doing this for over 23 years. So let that sink in. That's the age of my oldest child, 23 years. So that's a long time. And I want to share a little side story on to kind of help that sink in. So specialized tax incentives, we've been doing it for 23 years, right? The term specialized tax incentives didn't exist when Ryan started working in this avenue and the team started working in this avenue. Ryan is himself the one that came up with this term because we needed something that explained to everybody what we did. And so he, thought about it for a while, and we are actually the ones that created that term. So when you see that out there and you see it on the other websites, know that we're the original ones that came up with that.
We literally
we're the
coined
ones,
this phrase.
Yeah.
And we did it because, and I appreciate you bringing that up, because I went out there and I was seeing only top tier, the 0.5% of companies in America take credits, and I didn't understand why that was. So we formed a company 23 years ago that would get tax credits for everybody. Now I'm proud to say during that time, we've identified for clients $37 billion. I see these companies that are new to the game and they say, we've gotten our clients over $1 billion. $37 billion in the last 23 years. We are staples in the industry, but most importantly, we bring tax credits to Main Street. So every business in America can qualify for something that we do. That's why we have such a large spectrum of credits. So that's point number 3. This is nothing new.
Point number 4, everything we just talked about, literally, it's just the beginning. And I want Ryan to explain what that means, but it's just the beginning, you guys.
Remember how we called it a cornerstone? That's exactly what it is. It is just the beginning. It's the door opener. It's the easiest way in the door. But from there, you don't think you could lead into, once you get a manufacturing company, $700,000, you don't think you could lead into, say, a PNC policy, a life insurance policy, anything like that? You don't think you could lead into underpayment audit with a medical facility? Listen, you walk in with free money, people are going to want to hear what it is that you have to say, okay? Now, before I keep going, I want to remind you, start entering your questions if you haven't already, because 90% of this broadcast today is just us talking to you. But before we do, the last component that I want everybody to understand. So those are my 4 things that you need to understand about tax incentives. You don't need to understand any of the programs. What I do want you to understand is, how do you get from where you are right now to someone becoming a client?
Make that connection.
Absolutely. And there's really just a couple of portions to that. And so, Kendra, where does this process begin?
Well, it begins with us and you. And that's not where Ryan wanted me to go, but I want to tie this
That's
together.
Okay.
Your success, our commitment. I chose these words very purposely and in this order because you succeed because we're committed to you. And other things, like you're great at what you do. But we continue to be committed. And I want you to keep that in mind as we move through these tools in the kind of the process that we're going to talk about right now. The first aspect of this is, how do you market yourself? How do you get out there and kind of explain what specialized tax incentives are? Or do you even need to? That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
How do you reach your people? So we've created and maintain and continually update what we call the marketing toolbox. This has scripting, email templates, social, blog articles, landing,
Just
like everything that you need. And it's created by our team of marketing experts. We get out there, we test it, we tweak it, and then we provide it to you. And we don't just give you this and then let it go stale. This is something that we're continually reviving. We're always adding, changing,
Our marketing team is
it.
always testing this and going through. But one of the things you're going to see, everything in the marketing toolbox points to the same place, and that's a landing page. If you see a social post, it's going to take them to a landing page. If you see a blog article, it's going to take, if you see an email template, it's got all this detail in there. We don't end it with, thank you for learning more about tax credits. Good luck. No, they point towards the landing pages because the landing pages, Kendra, are designed to convert. This is what it's called, not to bore anybody, but marketing leads to conversion rate optimization. Yes. Okay. So everything we're doing is designed to convert into this next point, which is a client.
Right. And I want to point something out that I don't know if all of you grasp, because we do have a lot of new people on the call today. Landing pages, your landing page. Okay. Yeah. And if you're questioning that right now, that's a question you need to add, and we'll cover it for you. Your landing page, your information, your sign up page. So keep that in mind. They convert over by becoming a tax management system, or we use the acronym TMS throughout. They become a client. And we're going to talk more about that too, but that is what gets them to be a lifetime client. And if we can, we're going to look at that whole process really quickly and kind of walk through it so you can grasp, what does that mean? So wait, my client gets into the system. What does the system look like? Well, what you're going to see right here, that's the system. That's literally one of the screenshots where you can get in and start working with
Yeah,
TMS.
once they get to your landing page is going to convert them in just minutes. They're going to be in here. But Kendra, the last piece of this, I want people to understand the life cycle of a client. And there's one service that happens immediately. We're going to be talking about it a lot today, because you guys are going to want to know immediate. How does that happen? Listen, immediate benefit for the client, immediate commission for you. And Kendra, this is the first service we typically see that happens.
So as a client begins to use the tax management system, we ask them some questions and we talk to them within the system about their facilities, locations, and employees. So that first thing that we're able to do for them is cost segregation if they're qualified, which most people who own commercial property or have done renovations are. So that's immediate. Like within that first week of them in and using the system, we get them into cost seg and they have an immediate benefit, and you have a payout the very next payroll. That's amazing. That second thing we're going to look at is the R&D tax credit, because again, we're talking to them about their employees. It's an employee-based credit. We find information out. We're able to get that moving right away within like 30 to 60 days. The next thing is we're still working with the COVID ERC. So the disaster side. Also, employee retention tax credit, that's up next. That's going to be working in the background as we move through. And then I believe we're going to take a look at property tax. And property tax is tucked here because it's all dependent on their municipality. It's every year. But again, reminding you, we've talked to them about their locations. We have information about it. We get to gather the information we need for a review of property tax, and we know, and that's annual. And then WOTC, or the Worker Opportunity Tax Credit, keeps them kind of attached and involved no matter what, because that's quarter after quarter, and it's all about their hiring cycle, which just about every business has a continuous hiring cycle, right? So if they know that they have a benefit coming next quarter, are they going to cancel and ditch us or just forget about us? No, they're going to stay engaged.
No one's going anywhere, because if you picture through this cycle, by the time they get to the place where they're actually, maybe, first of all, why would someone ever cancel? But even if they were going to, by the time they get to this place where they say, you know what, I got so much money coming in, I'm trying to figure out how to reduce my income. Can you stop? And we say, yeah, no problem. But just so you know, we've already processed a lot of these credits. You've got another $70,000 coming 2 months from now. They would say, oh, okay, let me just stay. So they stay for those 2 months. But during that time, Kendra, our system is generating tax credits every day. And this is the part I want you to understand. This isn't a once a year event. This is every single day we're generating new tax credits, and that's why people can't cancel.
Right. And there's another key with the golden handcuffs. We're continuously working with them. Yeah. So when they buy a new facility, or they hire a new employee, or a new disaster credit comes out, we're aware, because we're continually working with them. We have this information that they're feeding us through the system. We can continually be checking for these credits and getting them more and more benefit, which means they're just going to stay with you for the lifetime.
Now, you are forgetting a service.
Am I?
No, but we'll talk about it. So
I actually am.
there is a service on here that's part of this life cycle, and it can fall anywhere. It could be directly after the first one. It could be later in the process, and that's your service, okay? It's your service, all of your, and when I say your service, all of your other services here, as well as all of your individual services, your consulting practice, your legal practice, your accounting practice, whatever your practice is, as well as all the things like expense reduction, underpayment audit. Now, this, again, I say, there is no greater way in the door. If you pick up the phone and you're talking to someone and say, hey, I wanted to come out and meet with you and talk to you about P&C insurance, you're one of thousands of phone calls that pour into them, or at least dozens. Whereas, how many times have they gotten a call that says something like this? Hi, my name's Ryan. I work with manufacturers here in Southeast Michigan. And I help manufacturers find tax credits. I want to set up a time to come out and meet with you and see what you qualify for. Okay? I would all but guarantee that they have not heard that pitch. That's why it's in the door. And once you're in the door, Kendra, this is going to lead to all those other services.
So hopefully that helped you kind of grasp the concept of how this system works for you, how specialized tax incentives are going to be that cornerstone.
Yeah.
And I think it's time, right?
Almost. So listen, I'm seeing some questions flow in, but you guys need to up your game. Okay, so I have a question for you. Remember how we started? We started by just saying, how do I, and I'll sum it by saying, make 2024 your biggest year. Okay, but now I have a question for you that I want to ask, and that is, how? Go ahead, Heather. So I'm going to ask this: what is it that you need in order to make 2024 your biggest year? Okay, because that's what we're here for. When we sat down and we talked about, let's give them tools for this and let's give them another landing page for that, let's make more explainer video. No, what we really wanted to do was we wanted to come here face to face with you, full access. Okay, we're 21 minutes in. If it were any other broadcast, I could just end it now. But instead, we want to spend the next 40 minutes saying, I'm here, Kendra's here. What do you, and that's my question to you, what do you need in order to earn your next commission or your first commission in 2024? What do you need in order to, make $1 million in commissions this year? So ask that question right now. Kendra and I are going to spend the remainder of the time talking about that. In fact, Heather, you can get rid of the slides. We're not going to need any. What we are going to do is when you ask a question, we're going to pull it up in the system. We'll show you where to do it and kind of go from there. So with that, Kendra, as you see questions, Heather, if you could promote some of the top ones and then kind of go from there.
Here's a good starting point. This is the easy one. Victor asks, what sorts of businesses get the R&D tax credit? And what we're going to try to do is, as we answer questions, we're going to try to visually pull in where you could also find this information yourself or where additional tools are or things of that nature. And what Ryan's pulled up right here is the home page of your GMG marketing toolbox.
Yeah.
And one thing that you see right there is I've highlighted this month, and this is kind of on the down low. It's very low key. Not many people know that I launched this, and I did that on purpose. There's a hyper-focused page for marketing for R&D right there. And that's basically the question, Victor, that you're asking, like who should I be targeting? And Victor, what I want you to do after today is go in here and click right on that. It's going to take you to this page. It's the R&D tax credit. If you want, there's a lovely 15-minute training from some gorgeous people right there. They'll help you understand the tax credit if you want to. You don't have to. They can get a little boring and wordy, so you can leave those people alone if you want to. Here's a quick cheat sheet for you. This section says who qualifies, and it's going to list out the highest potential qualifiers. Now, that does not mean that there aren't other businesses that qualify. The R&D tax credit list is quite long on who does qualify, but these are going to be those top qualifiers. Basically, when you're looking at the R&D tax credit, it's any business that creates something new. They have like a software element or a process technique. They're changing things up, improving things like that. There's a whole definition of it there.
Manufacturing is probably one of the easiest, lowest hanging fruit, like summary. And another way I like that you said is just anyone that performs something technical in nature. And if you want to know more, I'm not going to play it right now, but here, Kendra, you got a full list in this video of it scrolls on and on. The sales process for how someone comes in. So if you want to know more about R&D, ask us now, because we're glad to answer, and that's what we're here for. But while we're on this page, Kendra, let's also highlight, you've got a script here. Someone might say, what might I say? Mm-hmm. They might say, where do I send them? Did you know that you have an R&D landing page? It's right here. Let's go take a look while we're here. So this is the R&D landing page. There's an R&D video here, so your client can see it. They can instantly check their eligibility. They can see their own industry there, like manufacturing or software development, whatever the case is. There's all kinds of stuff on here, including testimonial, case study. But the most important thing is right here. And I'll go into this a little more later because we've already talked about R&D for a moment, but where your client can check their eligibility and become a client right away. They can go through. So that's all within the R&D. I guess I need to finish down this page that you've created for them, Kendra, while we're here. What do you do once you have a potential client? Right now, maybe you're saying, I know a manufacturer. Great. Here's email templates. Kendra, where do these email templates point?
They all point back to your landing page or your calculator page. Everything points back to you. And I want to point out down there in the lower left-hand corner, I believe this is our test page, and it's going to have Ryan's name or my name or a combination thereof. On your page, that's your name. It is your phone number. It is your email address. And when you send this, like copy and paste, this email, it's going to take them to your calculator or the landing page for them. Everything feeds back to you.
Absolutely. And then you've got some social posts. Don't underestimate the value of the social post. And for those of you that are in premium marketing, you have explainer videos, you have more social posts, and you have HTML email templates as well. So a lot there. Kendra, I probably talked a lot about R&D.
I'm going to jump into a different direction.
Go for it.
Great question. It says, this is from MoneyDoc64. I love the names.
That.
How do we handle the CPA question? I need to talk to my CPA. Why didn't my CPA tell me about this? And this is from Ryan. So we can get a combination of this different version of the same thing, or my CPA takes care of that, or my CPA said I'm fine. I want to point you to another spot in your marketing toolbox.
Yeah.
And I don't really have, like, what I call this is conversation stoppers, but it's like overcoming something that may be said that may pop up.
Yeah.
These are more to like put you at ease. And Ryan, if you can pull it.
I will. Yeah, I just want to point out the header real quick. So you've got your home page. Heather, I'm sorry, back to that. Yeah. And then you got verbal. You know, it said, what do I say? How do I handle? So that'd be verbal. You also have email, social, landing page, and blog. But Kendra, to your point,
this is something you're going to say. So you're going to find it under verbal and SMS scripts. And if you scroll down, it's close to the bottom of the page because there's a lot of information, and I wanted to kind of group it together. So this is a section that's going to give you verbiage to answer a lot of little things that may come up, or you may think they may come up. A lot of people think they're going to come up, and they actually don't. But right here, my CPA handles those, or my CPA said I don't qualify. You can take a look here, Ryan. And
here's what you're going to say to that person. I kind of zoomed in a little bit so you can see, but you say, well, Mike, that's good. We actually work with CPAs. What we tend to find is that while CPAs will take a few of the credits we look at hundreds of local, state, and federal tax incentives. So we work with CPAs to help implement these tax credits. Now, I'm going to point some out to you. What you're going to find over and over again, every one of these answers points to your landing page. So here's how they all pretty much end. What we've done is we made it easy by building you a calculator that helps you search and find the credits you qualify for. It only takes about 60 seconds. Let's take a look. So that's available. And again, Kendra, I want to point out every conversation and literally if someone comes and says, I want to see.
For a second, because Leanna's question is, can you tell us that quick script again? So Leanna, we actually don't need to, because you have access to this yourself. When you go to your portal and you click on Marketing Toolbox, the top of the page has a little menu. And if you go to verbal and SMS scripts, all of this is right there for you. You don't have to jot it down right now. You don't have to remember it. You have full access to this. And when you come to that section, you're going to scroll down and you'll have all of the scripts, even the one that Ryan just said.
I will tell you my elevator pitch for a moment. So this is my elevator pitch that I've been using forever. I mean, the numbers have changed, but I just say this year, $2.3 trillion is available for small businesses. I've added a quick calculator, or you can say we've added a quick calculator to our website so you can see exactly how much you qualify for. Whole process takes 60 seconds. I'm sending you a link now. But I want to show you one more, and it's my text or SMS script. So what I like to do is I like to lead in with the ERC credit because, Kendra, it's like this amazing thing that no matter how they say, and if you would mind indulging here, and you can be my counterpart if I was talking to someone on the phone. So, Kendra, the first thing I'm going to say is, hi, Kendra, I hope all is well. Hey, did you guys take the ERC credit?
No, we didn't qualify.
Okay, so I'm going to scroll to the part that says no. Well, we're coming up on tax deadlines. For ERC, companies get up to $26,000 per qualified employee they had. Plus, there's dozens of other programs that help small businesses now that PPP is gone. Our company has built a quick search so you can see what you qualify for. It only takes about 60 seconds. I'm sending you the link.
Oh, wow. I didn't know there was more programs other than ERC.
Yeah. Now, let's try this again. Hey, Kendra, I hope all is well. Did you guys take the ERC credit?
Yeah, it was great.
Oh, I'm shut down. I just have to go home now. No, it's fine. Oh, that's awesome. You know, ERC and PPP have been huge lifesavers over the last 2 years. Now, Congress didn't renew either of those programs, but they have added 2.3 trillion in programs just like ERC. Now, our company has built a quick calculator to see what you qualify for. It only takes about 60 seconds.
Nice.
I want to show you one more script, and it's actually over under email templates. Kind of a weird place, but it's an email, but I like it as a script, and that's okay. Kendra, aren't email templates just scripts? I mean, they really
are. You can pull your verbiage from anywhere, but
yeah. So I know my screen's gonna be ugly, but I just wanted to zoom in. So there's an email over there. It's someone you have a previous relationship with. This is my favorite. So I'm gonna take on a persona, and I'm gonna be a commercial realtor. So now, as a commercial realtor, Kendra, do I have any business talking to you about tax incentives? I mean, not really. You know what I mean? So if I come in and I'm like, hey, I'm Ryan, you've known me for 10 years in the community as a commercial realtor. Let me tell you about tax incentives.
I would get kind of confused because I wouldn't understand where direction you were coming from, because I know you as a commercial real estate agent. So.
Yeah. And so maybe I sold you a property last year. Maybe I helped, close on some, whatever the case is. But this is what I like. And this works really good as a text script, an email script, whatever the case is. Hey, Kendra, I hope everything's going well. Let's say it's an email, because don't throw up on people verbally.
No.
Hey, Kendra, I hope everything's going well with you and your family, and I hope that new property is serving all your needs. Hey, you mentioned that you own a salon, because you look like you might own a salon. So you mentioned you own a salon, and with all the new tax credits that have been released for employers, our company's added a specialized tax division. Okay. You just gave the understanding of why you're talking about tax, because your company, Keller Williams, whatever it is, added a specialized tax division. Your company, XYZ Insurance Co., XYZ Consulting, doesn't matter. So with all of the tax credits that have been released for employers, our company has added a specialized tax division. Well, that's super believable. The purpose of this division is to make sure that our clients are able to easily access the $2.3 trillion that have been made available to small and mid-sized companies. Although we'll be making this program available to the entire Southeast Michigan area later this year, I've been authorized to pre-release it to my existing clients. Any employer or commercial property owner can do a 60-second search and see what you're eligible for. I've included my link below, and this link right here. So you could use that conversation. I know we spent a lot of time on this, but I like this one. I like them all. I like maybe, hey, Kendra, did you take the ERC? Because that one is conversational. But I also like this one of, hey, Ken, like if it's transactional, hey, Kendra, how's that life insurance policy working out? I mean, you haven't died yet,
no,
so I guess
I'm good,
that's
right?
great. Yeah. How's that whatever working out? Well, with all of the new tax credits that have been released for employers, we actually added a specialized tax division. Did you guys take the ERC credit? Oh, you see what I did there? I'm like mixing stuff. You see what you can do? Once you get this stuff in your mind and in your heart, there's only a few things you need to know. And Kendra, I want to point out, I didn't talk to you once about the technicality of cost seg.
No.
I didn't talk to you once about, section 41 of the tax code or anything like that. What I'm doing is what all of you are great at. You're here right now because you're a relationship person. And we're not asking you to become a tax expert. We have the tax experts. It's no fun. You don't want to follow the 800 plus changes that happen per year. What you do have access to is you have access to your landing page, which keeps track of all those things. So all you need to do is get deep in your mind, deep in your heart, what it is you do. And this is it right here in a nutshell. You know what you do? Same thing you did last year and the year before. You're not a new persona. You're still Mike, the commercial realtor. You're still Suzanne, the life insurer. You're still who you are. But what you've done is you've added a specialized tax division. And Kendra, you realize when you do that, you take all the pressure off of this notion that I have to be an expert. I have to know everything. Okay, because even if they ask you something you don't know, you say, oh, well, let's pull that up on the website.
Let's take a look.
Let's take a look.
Right.
So
Next question is great, and it's going to
Wait,
kind
at this
of...
rate, I'm going to get through like 4 questions.
Yep.
Sorry, guys.
Or did you have one next?
No. I didn't. Go ahead.
This one ties in, and this is just a basic question from Vincent. Where do I find my landing page? And again, we're going to go back to that home page of the marketing toolbox. Along the top,
Sorry, should take a second. Along the top, you'll see landing pages.
You have more than one, Vincent. Every person on this call has multiple landing pages at your disposal. They're already built, they're already ready. And if you don't know where to find them, reach out to support, we'll show you. But they're right here. Basically, you go to your portal, marketing, homepage, across the top, click landing pages. They're right there for you. You can go in and take a peek at them, look at what you have. You have multiple, so that's where you're going to find those. I'll
show you just some of the other briefly. So there's ones that have video explainers on them. There's service-based ones. That's kind of what we were showing earlier with R&D or cost seg. And then if you're in premium, there's industry-based ones. So if you're going to go target...
If you want to tie our next question, you're right there. Which platform or landing page is the best one to send a director of an assisted living facility? Brand new, just opened last year.
Yeah, so, I would send them over. Living facilities just like a hotel. And so I would send them over to that. Here's a good rule of thumb. The more specific you can be, you should be. So, if someone's a restaurant or hotel, something like that we have a landing page for, send them to that because they're going to love landing on a page, Kendra, that speaks to them. It speaks to their, problems. But even if you don't, then your general landing page does a great job with this. And I'll take just a moment to show the general landing page just in case anyone doesn't know. So the general landing page just has a fun little, so I currently have, 20 employees and I hire that. So they can just do that. It's just meant to like spark their interest enough that they get to the real meat of things, which is their calculator. So Kendra, talk about this, and I'm going to go through in real time. Let's say we got a manufacturer with 100 employees. This is a great tool, and I hope everybody knows about this.
This is going to answer another question that I'll find in just a moment. Somebody asked, what do I do? Like, I'm in front of my client now. What do I do? Pull up this page. That's all you have to do on your iPad.
Go buy either the iPad 11-inch or the iPad mini. Mm-hmm. I love this thing. I would never go on an appointment without it, and I would bookmark this page that Heather has up right now, and I would just sit there. And Heather, if you go back to the full view for just a second, so I would just come and I would sit here. If I was sitting across the table, I would just spin it around and I would do this process with them. If I was sitting next to someone, I would just go through. And what you do is you just slowly let them take over your iPad.
Yep. And it's so simple. So as Ryan's filling this out, this is exactly what your clients are going to do.
I like how the red bar moves.
Yeah. You'll see across the bottom, it's calculating in real time based off the information that they're giving us what their potential credit could be. It takes about 2 minutes. Like, it's not in depth. It's not super.
Our marketing says 60 seconds, so we better stick with that.
Well, if you're talking, maybe 2 minutes. I don't know. But it's literally this simple. And if you're in front of someone and you don't know where to go, this is where you eventually want to get. So just go straight there and say, let's ask a couple questions and see what you qualify for.
And this is searching local, state, federal. Look at the. I mean, I'm at 2.8 million. And by the way, this is small. This is a manufacturing with 100 employees, and they own one building. Okay, and we're at $2.8 million. Now, what happens after this? In the old days, we'd show people a calculator, and then we'd say, book an appointment.
Right.
But in an instant era, people don't want to book an appointment. Not to like shatter any egos here, but people don't want to talk to you or us. What most clients want to do is they just want to do what they would do if they were signing up for QuickBooks. They want to follow the process through, and they want to become a client. Now, Kendra, maybe they get to the next screen and they're not ready to become a client and they want, cool, then they can book an appointment or they can reach out. We're going to remarket to them. But once you get someone to this page, we're seeing an upwards of 37.5% conversion rate.
Wait, pause
Yeah,
there.
go ahead.
I do a lot of marketing, you guys, so I know conversion rates. 37.5% conversion rate is out of this world for landing pages. Most of the time, they're like between 3 and 8%, and that's great. 37.5%. If you can get your client here Whether you walk them through it in person, whether you do it over the phone, whether they do it because you sent them a link, if you can get them here, you have a 37.5% chance of getting them through and becoming a TMS lifetime client, lifetime residuals. So let that sink in a little bit.
Coach Bud, I love this. The amount of tools and resource you made is mind-blowing. I appreciate that. We have an amazing marketing team. Kendra actually heads the marketing team. Our marketing team is comprised of people that have worked with Fortune companies that you've heard of, major brands and labels. But what I will say is we've mastered conversion rate optimization. Once we get them to this page, it's available to them. The one thing I'll say about the toolbox is, Kendra, and I'm going to knock us a little bit. We haven't found a solution to this. It could be overwhelming.
It could be. Like, for example, we're in Basil. I'm going to use your question as an example. Basil is asking, how do I send that to them?
Yeah.
The calculator we were just on. So we just walked through it, but it is fast, and we are walking you through it quickly. So to answer Basil's question and to kind of teach you guys how to slow it down, take an hour or two of your time.
Yeah.
Go to the portal, go into your marketing toolbox. Once you familiarize yourself with it, it's not so overwhelming, and everything is kind of in a cohesive spot. And if you still have a question at that point, all you have to do is click on that little thing down in the right-hand corner that says help. And our wonderful support department is right there, like live, to help you.
Yeah.
If the office is open, you can talk to us right there. So Basil, landing pages across the top, you'll find your main landing page, which was that calculator
Basil,
right there.
I'll give you, in its simplest form, you say, how do you find it? Well, if you're talking to them, start here. If you're texting them, start here. If you're emailing them, start here. So actually start with what you're going to do. So if you're going to email, you click email, and then you select an email template that makes most sense, someone you had a previous relationship with. If you're in premium, you can use the premium ones because they have embedded video and things like that. You can go through a new contact check-in. There's a lot of different ones, but within this email is your page. And so if you're emailing them, use that. And those that are in premium, by the way, I'm scrolling all the way down, there's HTML templates. And these are beautiful. I love these templates. And so you can actually cut and paste these, and these drive to your landing page. So whatever you're doing, Basil, like if you're talking to someone, you say, well, I'm going to be meeting with someone face-to-face. Okay, cool. Come over to Verbal, and this is going to give you what to say and where to send. Here, you're texting someone what to say and where to send. Everything is kind of broken down in that way. And I want to give you one last piece on that. The toolbox, Kendra, is like a buffet. And that's the way it's designed. So when you go to a buffet, you walk up and you say, I want mashed potatoes, I want a protein, I want this, and you kind of make up a plate. And that's how it's designed, is I can kind of skip around and say, I'm going to need some email templates, and I'm going out in person, and I'm going to need a verbal script, and I'm going to, and I want to do some social stuff. So it's a build your own plate. If you scroll down just a hair, the first major slice, if you're just getting started, go to our guided experience. Now, guided experience is like when you walk into a restaurant and you say, I would like the 3-course chef's choice. Just bring it to me. What do you want to drink with it? Let them choose that too. Okay? Now, what guided experience is going to do, it's for those that maybe you're like, I don't know where to start. I just want to follow along. This is going to literally, it's a 4-week series. And on week 1, it just says, literally okay, contact 10 people and send this to them and post this on your Facebook page. So maybe you're kind of you just have to understand your personality type and say, if I just want to be told what to do for the next 4 weeks, go to guided experience. If you're I'm a type A personality, which is more of the people on these broadcasts, then no problem. Just go through, pick the things that you want. So great question, Basil. Appreciate it.
So going back to where we were at on that main calculator page, Mike asked if they do qualify for benefits using the calculator, how much additional information is needed to be entered in about the company to start the process off on various tax incentives, and is it typical for companies to have several programs working at the same time? I'm going to take the last one and work backwards. Yes, it is actually very typical for us to have clients who have multiple credits in the works at the same time. Some of them take different lengths of time. So definitely you can have cost seg going, we have property tax mitigation going, WOTC going, possibly even R&D. Like, it's just, that's the way the system is designed. So yes, most of our clients are going to have multiple going. As far as documentation, it's very minor compared to what it used to be. Like with cost segregation, we can move forward with one document. It's all about just confirming the numbers they gave us so that we know what to move forward with. With the R&D tax credit, we do an interview, and then we know what documentation we need, and they know what to expect at that point.
Yeah.
Property tax, we need a property tax bill. Like, it's very simple. We've nailed it down to the minimum that we need, and if there is more needed just to validate the information they provided, we know who to ask and who to get that from at that point, because we're in the middle of the process. So it's very non-invasive, it's very simple and easy, and we go back to that tax management system. They literally just upload their documents right there. Like, they don't even have to, really communicate or have big conversations or anything. We know what's needed, and we kind of get that moving as quickly as possible.
So Kendra, I want to talk about, so besides owning a property, who else is eligible for cost seg? Before we direct answer that, Heather, let's go back to screen share. Kendra, there's a new page. We didn't even announce this, so let's announce it right now.
So I decided,
there's a new section.
With Ryan's help, I decided to build out our team 2 focused sections, one for manufacturing or R&D, and one specifically for cost seg. And I want to focus.
This is at the top, literally, it's yelling at you when you get to the toolbox. You will see it. It says, check out our cost seg marketing toolbox page.
And I want to add, before I go into this,
sorry,
if you don't know how to get to this page, I want you to say, I don't know how to get to my marketing toolbox in the comments. Because if you don't, I need to make sure you understand how to get. It's very simple, and you just need to bookmark it. Side note. So, who else is eligible? You're going to use this page, Lisa, and you're going to find that as you move through here, you're going to learn yourself that anybody who owns commercial property, but also anyone who has done any level of significant renovations to a leasehold property. So they may just be the leasee of maybe a restaurant, but they've put 200, 400,000 into this building. That's normal for a restaurant, for different facilities to do that. They don't own the property, but they put all the money into the property. They also can do cost segregation and get that return or that benefit back from that. So that would be the other side of who would be qualifying. Own commercial property or have done significant renovations to a leasehold property.
Now, let's stop for a minute, Kendra, and let's talk about why someone should focus on cost seg in Q1. So I want to park here for a moment, and before we show what's on this page, so let's talk about Heather. Let's get rid of the display. Just come to Kendra and I for a minute. So Kendra, let's just park here for a minute, and then we'll show some cost seg tools. So for those that maybe they've only been here for a tax season or two, not all fiscal quarters are created equal.
No.
And right now we are in cost seg season, if you didn't know that. This is the time of year that people flood to us and want cost seg done, which means instant money for clients. It means instant commissions.
And there's a reason that this time period is so important. So beginning of the year, people start thinking about their tax bill because April 15th is not too far away. Like this first quarter goes so fast. They've just closed out last year. They know how much they made. They're thinking, I'm going to owe. Or their CPA has already said, you're going to owe. You need to start planning for this. So in that case, they reach back out to us, hopefully, if we've stayed in contact.
Yes.
The reason it's important is cost segregation will offset that tax liability. So you owe, if I go to that cost segregation, I won't owe anymore, right? It'll be reduced significantly. So that's the reason cost segregation is so important this first quarter of the year. And the thing is, whether or not you've been reaching out to that potential client, they tend to forget until there's something there poking them as a reason, and they may not remember. So even if you're long-term, you've been here forever, and you've been communicating with your potential cost seg clients, you need to be out there right now in re-engaging with them using the scripting, because the scripting I created actually talks about the fact that tax season is coming up, you potentially have tax liability, what are you going to do to offset that? We already looked at your property and it could be X amount to offset. So utilizing this tool set that we just gave you, you can get cost seg clients turning over left and right during this time period. I mean, I've seen like some of you that have on.
I want to highlight. So a couple of new advisors that I want to congratulate on here. So one is Zach M from Texas. Zach, you drove someone to your landing page within just a month of joining. So brand new guy. And your client went through there without talking to anyone. They activated. They have an electrician business. We found them. Are you ready for this? $250,000. Okay? So when that happens, client instant activated. Client instant got the benefit. And that means that the advisor, the partner, gets money within sometimes, in fact, this entire deal was completed within 14 days. From the time that the client came in to the time they'd received all of their benefit, all of their everything. One more I want to highlight. Congratulations. I will not pronounce this right, but Jawad M from Texas activated a cost seg with a client within just a few weeks of activating and becoming a partner of ours. The client has a rental property. So to I forget whose question, Lisa's question earlier.
Eric and Lisa.
Yeah, so to Eric and Lisa's question earlier, this client had a rental property, and we got them $57,000. So again, though, here's what I want you to understand: is $57,000. I mean, we didn't get this client $1 billion. We didn't even get him $1 million. It doesn't matter. You have to do you realize what a small business has to do to walk away with $57,000 net income? They'd probably have to increase their sales by $500,000 to do that. Think about that. A business that gets $500,000 in gross revenue that nets out just 15 or 20% of that, then has to pay half of that to Uncle Sam. Think about what it takes for them to walk away with $57,000. And we got this small property, $57,000. But here's the great part. Client's looking into the possibility of doing other rental properties that he may purchase. This is Spark. So now all of a sudden, you're their guy. You're their gal. Okay? So cost seg is instant commission for you, and it's instant benefit for your client. Kendra, any other questions you want to tag in before I
want to tag in a couple of cost seg questions. And Scott says, so many great unanswered questions. We're trying to get to them all, Scott, I promise you. I'm trying to group them together. Regarding cost seg, like what's fully considered, Shannon asks, like, is it equipment? It is. It's the entire makeup of the building. So, but we're not going to go into that in depth. If you want to learn like exactly what, and you've nailed it, fryers, ovens, ventilation. It's all the equipment. It's all the pieces and parts that make up the building that goes into cost segregation. So it's not just the building itself.
And on that, if you want to know more, here's a training on it that, right on that cost seg page.
Chris asked about rental homes. Rental homes are dependent on how they have it structured as far as business, but apartment complexes definitely qualify. So if they have it structured like a business and that's how they're running it, yes, they could potentially qualify for cost segregation. Susan has a great question. I just want to make sure. Yeah. Susan says, how do you actually make them a client?
Oh,
so
that's a good one. Thank you.
Again.
Thank you, Susan. I wanted someone to ask that. Heather, pull that back up. So where I would start on the Toolbox homepage, remember you see that cost seg. Skip past the training. You don't need it. Okay? So skip past who qualifies. It's really simple. Everyone that has a building or is renovated. But here's a pitch for you, that you can go through. Where do you send them? Okay, remember, you've got email templates. You can email the client over, and so here's some great email templates that have your landing page in there. Now, I want to show you your and you've also got social post. Go in there. If you're in premium, you've got explainer videos for cost seg, all these different things. But right here, I've got cost seg landing page, and all your email templates will send to this. But Kendra, we've got this great cost seg page. This is client facing,
which means you're going to send this to your client. Your client is going to interact with this page, and they're going to click on either check my eligibility or one of these calls to action.
Yeah,
and when they do,
they can see. I'm sorry, keep going.
When they do, that's the step. That's where we want to get them. That's that conversion. That's 37.5%. Once you get them to that calculation page and they enter that information, they go through and they activate. Then they're a client.
Every few inches on the page, we give them an opportunity to go to your calculator page, and they can watch a video here. They can do anything. when they go through, Kendra, to your point, this is going to take them right, boom, we're at the calculator. Why? Because it converts. This is the strongest conversion tool we have. So you might be wondering, who asked that question before, I forgot. You might be wondering, Kendra, why not just text them the calculator page? Well, that's a lot like showing up and saying, hi, my name's Ryan. Do you want to get married? And you're just kind of skipping. So everything, listen.
It might work for some people.
If you're in a great relationship with this person, you could jump right to that. But for some of you, maybe you need to show them something about what it is you're talking about first. And that's what the landing pages are designed for. Now, you could send them to your general landing page, but this time of year, you want to be talking to people about cost seg. Why? Does anyone want an instant commission? Listen, I'm all about, and you've heard me in previous weeks talking about our expense reduction services, talking about ERC tax credit. You've heard me talk about underpayment audit, massive, massive commissions on all these different things. But it doesn't matter because nothing that I just named offers to pay you a commission within, say, maybe the next week or so. And cost seg is the only thing you can do where you're going to go talk to someone and get them to a page, save them some money instantly so they get money right away, and then all of a sudden you're getting money right away. I thought I saw we had another question, Kendra?
I think Heather and I are both clicking questions.
Oh, sorry.
I just got to find it.
So while she's looking for that, what do you do if you have a cost seg person or someone that might be interested? Well, ultimately, you're going to get them to this page. But the way you're going to get them to that page is, on your toolbox homepage, you're going to see cost seg at the top, and this has everything you need. It has training, who qualifies, you got a verbal script there, you've got email templates, social post. Don't underestimate the social post. Post these on your LinkedIn, post these on your personal Facebook account.
April has a good question. She says, are all the calculators different depending on the service? No. So that calculation page is where everything comes together. Your landing pages will lead here. R&D, everything comes here because this is their one stop to get into the tax management system. They're going to give us their information. We're going to know all of their answers are going to help us to see, should we go down the R&D path? Should we go down cost seg? Should we, So this is the calculator, and all of your landing pages are going to lead back to this point.
Yeah.
Do we want to go more into service or more into like activation, what that process is, or?
For questions, or someone asked that question?
I'm asking you because we could go one of two ways. We got lots of questions both ways.
I think more into activation because I'm seeing more questions in that. And honestly, you don't need to know more about the service because if you want to know, watch this video. But I'm telling you, you don't need to know. Here's everything you need to know about cost seg. There's a tax incentive specific to businesses that own commercial property. I'd like to get you a free feasibility report so you can see exactly what you'd qualify for. Okay? You don't need to go deeper than that with the client. This is where you want to get them, and that's your cost seg landing page. But this really is everything you need to know product-wise. Yeah. So let's talk more about the important part. Knowing product knowledge isn't going to make you commission. Okay? Knowing how to activate the client is what's going to make you commission.
So Bev has a general question. And I think this, like a lot of people are like, what is activate? Like, what does it mean? Mm-hmm. And what does it involve and all of that? So we're going to kind of try to break that down for you, Bev. And there's a lot of questions that have been submitted that are similar to Bev's question. So we may cover your question while we're talking about hers as well.
Okay. I'm going to give you the short answer and the long answer. The short answer is that when they go through this calculator, the client will activate with us just like they would activate QuickBooks or anything else. There is a small fee for activating, depending on the client, it might be $9, something like that. If it's a larger company, it might be $49. Like it's based on the number of employees they have and what we're processing. Clients obviously don't have a problem activating because I want to tell you, when we didn't used to charge a fee, we had a 2% conversion rate. When we started charging a fee to go through, we went up over time to a 37.5% conversion rate.
So Chuck, I added you because this is answering your question right now.
Yeah. So when they go through, we're going to, just like with QuickBooks or Netflix or Office 365 or any service, and the reason why, it's believability on the client's part, that they're going in and they're utilizing a system. So that's the activation process. You don't have to worry about that. Because, so is that software or regular subscription required to get their benefit? Yes, it is. So you have to use our software. It's monthly software that's going to run in the background of your platform. So now let me give you a longer answer for a moment, or show you where the longer answer is. If I come back to the homepage and I say I'm just getting started and I want to explore the guided experience, I just want to show you where a training is. On Quick Start, here is a part 1, how we help clients. In this, I'm not going to play it right now, but we walk through exactly how someone activates. There's flow charts of what happens, everything else. Kendra, if I remember right, this is it looks like it's a 30-minute training just on what we're offering and what our activation process is, where they can see every single step of what happens when a client comes in, how we identify tax credits, everything like that. So if you're the hungry type that you hunger for that and you want more, that's where you find your longer answer, is you just come here on the homepage and you say, I want to go through the guided experience. If you want to just get started signing up clients and you know some commercial property owners, then kind of like I was just showing, come on here and go through this process and start communicating this messaging. And this messaging is simple. There's a tax incentive for businesses that own commercial property. I'd like to get you a free feasibility report so you can see exactly what you qualify for. Here's the good news with whoever asked that last question. Let's say they come here and they go through this process and they get to a screen and they decide they don't want to move forward. Well, here's the great part. They're in your client portal where you can reach out to them, where you can move them along, where we're going to reach out to them and move them along in the process. And that's why we have a 37.5% conversion rate once we get them to this page, is because most clients, I mean, look at this client right here, $2.8 million. Kendra, would you like $2.8 million?
Absolutely.
It's going to cost you $9 a month in software fees, plus we take a portion of that $2.8 million every time we find you a credit.
It's fine.
It's the ultimate value proposition.
Yeah.
And that's why we have the conversion rate that we do.
I want to add Linda's question, because what Ryan just said, Linda, answers your question specifically. And I do want to point something out. She says that she knows it's not free. They need to pay $9 or $15. Ryan just explained why that's the case. And then you mentioned that most cost seg people don't want, I'm assuming that's ERC. They want only real estate. What you're selling is not a single service. Like, we have to get out of that mindset. We are selling them a cohesive system that is consistently and constantly looking for tax credits for them on their behalf. And as Ryan mentioned, when we're able to show it to them in that manner and show them what their savings are, they don't have a problem paying a small activation fee. It is what is customary when you're using a monthly software, which is what your tax management system is.
Yeah,
and that's why you just have to get out of that mindset.
But let's say they don't want, maybe that they already have a buddy that does ERC, so they don't want to do that service, or they're like, my CPA does my R&D tax credits. The last screen of this, I can't go to it now, but the last screen of this is checkboxes, where they can uncheck and check. So
what they do and don't want to do.
If they only want to do cost seg, that's fine. They can uncheck everything else. If they don't want to do WOTC, some of the other services, I don't know why they wouldn't, but maybe they have a reason. They could just check the one that they have. But even then, we're going to get them hundreds of thousands of dollars per property. So, we don't tend to see, and our conversion rate speaks for that, anything. Now, I want to say this. I want to take some more questions. This is a great ad.
So I just want to add this.
Please
because do. Coach Bud understands. He's worked with it. He gets it. They get to the feasibility study, which is something that we do. We process on the side.
It is free.
That is free. And it does show them what their breakdown is going to be. And they can decide if they want to move forward. If they want to move forward and engage, there's a tiny little fee. And there's a lot of work done on our side for the monthly review and to keep checking and making sure that everything's accurate for them. So say they only want to do cost segregation, so they stay active for a month, and that's $9. It's not, some people for some reason don't understand, like, we are working constantly for our clients. We have a tiny little fee to cover some of the incidentals for it and to make it worthwhile for them, as Ryan mentioned. And I think it becomes a barrier to advisors more than clients.
Yeah.
Because I've yet to get on the phone with a client who has any problem at all doing their small activation fee for the system that's going to be doing the checking and work for them on their behalf. So that's, if you present it like that, this is software, SaaS, software as a service always has a small monthly fee.
Yeah.
So that's the expectation. I've yet to run into a client who had a problem with it.
Now, we're going to hang out and answer more questions. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to close the call, and then we'll keep taking questions because this is great. So listen, if you've got to go, let me tell you what you need to know. This is your toolbox, and that's okay, Heather. We don't need screen. This is your toolbox, and on your toolbox has everything you need. That's the first thing you need to know. You need to understand that what we're in the business of doing is giving away money to clients. Remember what I said earlier? $2.3 trillion. More of it you give away, the more of it you make. Name of your game right now. How many people do you as an individual give money out to? And for those of you that are building a team, building an agency, how many people can you get giving money out on your behalf? That's really what you should be focused on. Because let me lay you in a secret. I don't care how good of a marketer you are. You can't give away $2.3 trillion on your own. So you need to be, in my opinion, giving as much away as possible. Some people say, should I be doing personal production or building a team? You should be doing both. Give away as much money as you can and build a team of people giving away as much money as they can. Okay? When you combine that, you're maximizing your commission. That's what you want to be doing. It's thing number one. Thing number two, I want you to walk away with. Kendra, if I was going to focus on one thing right now.
Sam's question. Who should I target at this time to maximize
I love
success
it.
during this period?
Commercial property owners. Okay. Now, you've heard me say, okay, we're for all businesses. That's true. But right now, at this unique moment in time, this is where you can get big money out there into the market quickly, and you can make commission quickly. Okay? Because an underpayment, listen, that's future money. An ERC, that's going to take you 3 to 4 months, maybe longer, before you get paid on that. It's going to be a great payday when it does. A WOTC client, Kendra, you're going to get paid for life. Every quarter you make commission on a WOTC. So you should do all of those things. But I don't know about you, but I like making now money too, especially when it's stacked with later money. Or let me say another way. What I love about cost seg, you're not choosing between now money and later money. You're choosing to get some now money that's going to lead to all of that later money because it's not at the cost of. And so many things in life, when you're going to go do something, it's at the cost. I'm going to focus on now money, but it's at the cost of later. And that's not the case with cost seg. So Kendra, with cost seg, we're talking any commercial property. We're talking restaurants, hotels, manufacturers, car dealerships. So let me ask you right now, do any of you know a car dealership, a hotel, a manufacturer, a funeral home, a restaurant, any of those things? Heather, put my screen back up for a second. If so, what I want you to do is I want you to come to the toolbox. I want you to go to commercial property, and I want you to get them to this page. How are you going to get them? Well, you're either going to email them, you're going to text message them, or you're going to call them, or you're going to go out there in person. I don't really care. Don't devalue the in-person, by the way. I have made so much money over the years by going out in person. When these little tablets came out, I think it was amazing. So you just go out there, I can close a deal. No proposals, no follow-up meetings, no anything. Why? Because I'm lazy and I hate follow-up. That's what it comes down to. So I hate follow-up. So we've developed a system where you just go out there and you make money on the first appointment. So if you know any of those things, I want you to get traffic to this page right here. And again, how are we going to get traffic? You're going to talk to them. You're going to email them. You're going to post on social. Kendra, do they need to know anything else? Any other training? Any tax code? Anything else in order to make money?
Not really. I mean, it's as simple as just following the steps. And that was a great question, Sam, because that is like our wrap-up email specifically talks about taking advantage of this time period and the best way to do it. It does direct you, just like Ryan said. So I think that is absolutely, if anybody takes away anything from this entire call, how can I be the most success with First Corner? Focusing on cost segregation, getting them in and using the tax management system so that as we get closer to tax season, we can know whether or not your clients are going to qualify for the other benefits. And then we're in there and we're working with them. We're going to get those other services, as Marion mentioned, your own services. That's the way we talked about it in the beginning. That's that cornerstone.
Last thing I want to say before I go back to like full Q&A mode, and we'll do another 20 minutes or so of Q&A. I'm staring on my iPad right now at a list that's like a mile long of brand new partners within the last month who've already earned their first commissions. And you know why? Because they didn't. Now, here's the crazy part, Kendra. During that time, I don't know about you, but I was actually gone for Christmas break, so I didn't do any tax trainings.
You didn't need a tax training.
So what they did is they came in.
Yeah, all you need is a way to get your client over to the calculator. We give you all that in your marketing toolbox.
Yeah.
And whether or not you walk them through in person, on the phone, or via text, email, what have you, that's where you need to get them for them to become a client. They're going to become a lifetime client because they're going to use the system. You're going to gain more services because they're using the system.
Yeah. So if you're new and you haven't earned your first commission yet, do what these folks right here have done and be just crazy enough to decide you don't need to know anymore and you just need to get a client over. If you've been here a while and you haven't earned your first 2024 commission, maybe some new folks are smoking you because they're just smart enough or just crazy enough to just jump in, decide they're too busy, because maybe they've been like too busy doing like underpayment audit deals to worry about learning tax incentives. That's okay. I'm cool with that. You don't need to become a cost seg expert. You don't need to become an ERC expert. You need to master 1 to 2 pitches. You need to have it deep here where you know how to introduce it, and you need to drive traffic to your landing page. So I want to thank you. I'm going to hang out for like 20 more minutes and do Q&A. Heather, you can kill my screen. And, we'll kind of go with that. So thank you, everybody. You're dismissed as though you needed my dismissal. But for everybody else, listen, if you have a question, I'm going to keep going because this is about access for you. So, Kendra, do we have another good question you want me to go through?
It depends on which direction you want to go in. Let's see.
While you're picking, I'm going to pick an easy one. So what do I need to make an information page for prospects using a QR code? So what you could do is you can take one of the landing pages, whichever one you want, and then you go to just Google search a QR code generator, take your personalized landing page, cut and paste it in there, and it'll generate a QR code for you. So, Noel, I like that idea. I like where you're going with that. So,
Scott says his biggest question he can't answer is how much will this cost me? So if you're actually using the calculator, Scott, that actually is a part of the calculator. So there should never be a question. Once they enter their information about their properties and the information about their facilities, how many employees they have, they're presented with, it looks like you qualify for this.
yeah.
This is how much it would cost you. Would you like to move forward? So it seems like maybe you're not getting them to that point.
Yeah. I agree. I think to kind of, sometimes I like to do things in role play format. So if you were talking to someone, and Kendra, could you put that up one more time just so I can play off of it while you're, and you can look for the next one while I do this. So if you're looking, how much, so they say, well, Scott, how much is this going to cost? Well, it actually depends how many programs you qualify for, how much we get you. Our model is we go to work for you and we take a small portion of the benefit. But really the first step is figuring out which programs you qualify for. Now, we've built a calculator on our website. And what I want to do is ask you a few questions. And the first one is, how many employees do you have? And Scott, you can see you're like in the dialogue. And then it's like any other funnel, like you're like walking through this process. And if they say, well, how much is that? Well, actually, the last screen here is going to show. And the last screen shows, okay, cost segregation, you're going to get this much, and we're going to charge, and it shows a fee. Like the fee is right on there. It's auto-generated in real time. So.
That answers your question, Dale, too. It'll pop up right there on that page.
Yeah, so it comes up. It's based on, like QuickBooks. You know what I mean? When you go to sign up for QuickBooks, it's going to come up and it's going to show it. So if somebody says, how much is QuickBooks? Well, it depends on what all you want to do with that.
Right. And Coach is answering questions for us, which I love. So some people say, wait, they pay up front. They don't like for their benefit. No, they're paying for the service, a small monthly fee. And he's answer the question.
I know.
And I have something for him. So hold on. Basically, he answered it perfectly. There's no out-of-pocket cost for the audit. They're only paying that money when they get their benefit.
Yeah.
So that actually is all accurate. There is a system that they're using that's like $10 a month, people. Like I don't, and Coach, great question. You're giving away a marketing kit? Question mark, question mark, question mark. And actually what I'd like to do, Coach, because you've been like amazing on today's call and I love the feedback and interaction that you're giving to us, I'm going to have Heather get with you and she's going to get you a marketing kit, okay? Just because you're such an amazing advisor. So I want to make sure to throw that out there. Thank you for interacting. That's the great interaction that we want, because if there's other advisors, AEs on the call, they're helping answer questions. It just helps everybody. We get more information out there. So
yeah,
great.
By the way, I see most of you are watching, or some are watching on the web, some are watching on YouTube. So make sure on the Facebook page and the YouTube page, our stream didn't work to Facebook again, but still follow us on Facebook. And somebody said, how do we follow on Facebook? So what you do is you, right on the page you're watching on right now, you'll see Facebook, YouTube, and on the web, like the page you went to watch this. So just follow that page. That's my page. I post on there regularly. And on YouTube, like we do impromptu live sessions, things like that. So you want to make sure that you follow on YouTube and Facebook. And then also there's the marketing kit giveaways that we do on there as well. So
great. Focus back on what our focus is for right now, which is cost segregation. Charles says, I know dozens of auto dealerships and body shops. Body shops are smaller. Some of them I know they're CPAs. Sounds like you're set to clean up for this season.
Yeah.
So auto dealerships are amazing qualifiers. They're one of the top 3 qualifiers for cost segregation. So Charles, what I want you to do is head over there to that cost seg section of your marketing toolbox. Get over there to the page. I have created some auto dealership specific stuff. It's been sitting on the back burner. I did see somebody else with that same question. If I'm able to, I'll get that pushed out. If not, reach out to Heather and I might be able to get you something more specific. But there are articles for auto dealership too. So cost seg is your aim for the next 4 months with this list. You should be able to clean up. So
yeah, we've done so many major car dealerships. So you just said it well. You should be able to clean up on car dealerships.
Factories. So James has factories with 450 employees, calculate their payroll, ran calculator, benefit was 12 million, but on incomplete data, who do I talk to? Well, the thing we need to do, James, is to engage with that
pull
client.
up my screen.
Huh?
Oh, I was telling Heather to pull up my screen. Sorry.
He's going to show you. We need to re-engage with that client. We need to gain the rest of the information so we know what we're looking at. You can do that by sending them.
I'm going to scroll down. One of my favorite is your HTML email templates. There's general ones too that are in here, but down here we've got some industry-based ones. And so if you're in premium, you have these. So these templates right here, there's how to use the template. It's so easy. You actually just cut and paste all of this and then paste it into your email client. These email templates are beautiful. They have embedded video. They have all of these different things. So this is a manufacturing email you can send. And what they're going to do is they're going to link over to all the other services that we can do, including the R&D tax credit. And so, we send them over here. Now, for the R&D page, here's a manufacturing website. It's got video, it's got testimonials, it's got an overview of the system, like everything on it. So what I would do if you have manufacturing contacts, head on over. If you're in premium, use the premium HTML ones because they are absolutely beautiful. But even if you're not in premium, sorry, this is the part, there we go. On that R&D tax credit, you can come in here and there are still some email templates that are here. But if you're in premium, you have access to those HTML, the explainer videos, like all the different things. But I think the general of the question, Kendra, was what do I do if I have someone? If you're not in premium, use these templates. They're great. They're going to drive to your page. If you are in premium, that HTML one's one of my favorite ones that you've created.
I'm going to answer 2 questions from our last auto dealership thing. Denise, as well as Bob, asked about used auto dealerships. Now, they're not going to be as high of a qualifier as an auto dealership with a flagship because they do forced renovations, but they're still a commercial property.
Yeah.
So absolutely, they would also still qualify. So you'd want to be reaching out to them and, trying to get them to check out the calculator for cost seg and see what they would qualify for. A couple people are asking about, I didn't mean to mention marketing kits on the call. Reach out to Heather, and I'll have Heather have some special stuff for you guys. So like,
yeah, I see some questions
Kayla,
about
Linda,
premium too.
Lori.
So not some we were going for today, but I guess I'll just touch on it. So 80% of the toolbox is free. It's included as you being a partner. There are some things you'll notice that are premium, and the way you'll know they're premium, I'll show you, is they have a little crown. So this comes down really simple. So we have a pretty expensive marketing team, that design emails. We ad test everything with Google AdWords. And you also have to understand when we do like video, like these explainer videos, you realize the cost involved to host thousands and thousands of partner videos that are uniquely coded to you, by the way. Like each one is your personalized one on your personalized landing page, and it ties to your sign up pages. So you'll notice like there's plenty of social posts, but then there's, some premium ones as well. And so you'll see here's a couple of free ones. Here's a couple of premium ones. The other thing that premium gets you, if you're interested, is like I'm on the social page right now. So we have a marketing masterclass, and it's actually starting next month, where myself and Kendra, our email marketing person, our SMS marketing, we take some of our marketing team out of production and we pull them onto calls with you so you can get better at marketing. Now, let me be really clear. Do you need premium's $99 more a month? Do you need it? No. Like, plenty of people are successful there. I just told you not to buy from us. Plenty of people are highly successful without it, but there's some tools that cost us a lot of money to produce, and we have several. Kendra has some hosting. Kendra has some dedicated staff that just produce these things, and so it'd be real easy for us to say, well, we don't want to charge for anything, so therefore we'll only provide this. What we do instead is we say, well, we provide this for everybody, but for those that like maybe they want some industry-based landing pages, they want access to marketing masterclass, they want some premium social, some explainer videos. Well, that stuff costs us a lot of money. So think of it like, revenue share, or, think of it like
basically what it does is it offsets the cost for us to produce it. We're not out here making money on it. I have a lot of expense when it comes to hosting and some of the HTML different things that we do. Creation of content is quite expensive. I have an entire team that works for me. So that what you're paying for with premium is just to offset the expense of that. If you had to go out and create those things on your own, it would be much, much more expensive. So we provide it at the lowest base that we can for those of you who decide you want to use it.
Yeah, when you come in here, same thing for email templates. If you come in here and you're, cutting and pasting some of our email templates, that doesn't cost us anything. I mean, we created it. We want you to use it. But when we're doing hosted emails, that we've A/B tested, and, some of these have open rates of 30 and 40%, then that's how, we've built in your custom data.
I have somebody on my staff, you guys, that just monitors these and makes sure that everything's always still working for you, because things break down. I mean, just because we created an email, the links could crash or break, or, there's lots of different things that can happen. I have someone on my team, and all they do is monitor the marketing toolbox for us to make sure everything's working for you and everything is perfect. So
that's premium. No one go out there on the interweb and say, Ryan and Kendra just got me to a call and all they want to do is sell me something. We're an hour and a half into today's call, and this is the first time I've mentioned a fee for something, and I openly told you don't have
need
to have it.
Yeah.
But some people want to have it because they want to leapfrog, and that's fine. It's there for you.
Mike has a great question, and I wanted to pull this in because this is going to, if anybody does have to jump off the call and we have not been able to get an answer to your question, we do apologize. We're trying to get them all in, but sometimes it's not possible. Mike said, who should I contact if you don't have time to get to some of the questions I posted? And Heather and her team in the support department are always here and ready to help you, and that's who you'd want to reach out to, and that's email gmg@gmgsales.com. Savings. If you're on any of our pages within the portal, hub, what have you, there's always going to be a little help box in the lower right-hand corner. That is the same team. You can call in on the toll-free number if you want to. You're going to reach them all in that manner. If you happen to reach us after hours, the girls will quickly get back to you the very next day. And one thing I want to show you is, I don't know if I can physically show it to you, but the help box is actually interactive. So if a lot of us work at night or on the weekends, and if a question does pop up, please just take a moment, click on that help box, and answer those questions as it walks you through it. You may get your answer.
I'm just going to type the word CPA, and look at all these right here.
Yeah. You may get your answer without ever having to speak to the team. So if we happen to be off hours and you do have a question, that's probably your best place to go. If you don't get something that you're looking for, send the team an email. They are always, always, always back to you within 24 hours. And their turnaround time is not 24 hours. I give them 3 days. And they're always in there done within just a few hours of any time you submit a question.
Like the person who wanted to know about premium marketing. Okay, so this is a little dangerous. I don't know what this says. But, so I'm going to go here, and this tells you what's included, how to sign up, all that other stuff. You wanted to know about cost seg, something like that. Look at this. I mean, just pages of things. How to use cost seg, my property site. How do I use my self-service? You know,
so there's so many tools that we have just built in. I think we take it for granted that you guys know that they're there. So thanks for the question, because it does highlight for me that maybe that hasn't been shown to you, or maybe we just kind of assume people are using it, but that's an amazing tool. You all asked me, like 5 people, could I say the email address again a little slower? So I apologize. I did add it to the feed as well. The support is for GMG is gmg@gmgsavings.com. So just right there, that'll reach the team. They're more than happy to get back with you. Kelly says usually within 10 to 15 minutes, and that is true. They are literally that quick. So
I have a question for everybody. I need to, that was weird. My hands were in your screen there. So we have to go, but I have a question for you, and I want you to type your answer in here. So just a few weeks from now, we're going to be doing another broadcast, and Kendra and I have topics in mind, but we might be wrong. So here's my question. It's going to go back to what I asked earlier. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need from us? I think like 2.5 or 3 weeks from now, because we're late in the month now.
We have a
we're
topic
do another
that we
broadcast.
will gladly scrap what we have planned, you guys.
So
if we
blow
see
up
something coming
the
in.
chat box right now with questions, and we will use that. So I'll wait. I'll sit here because I want to see some of these. So what do you want to know? There's still quite a few of you on the broadcast right now. What is it that you want to know? And you'll kind of put that out there. And while you're typing that, again, I want to say you need to be here. You need to be here for the next broadcast. You'll see it kind of advertised and out there soon, and go through. So get out there and do that. And in the meantime, Kendra, they got to sell some cost seg. But that was a trick question because it's not sell. You got to give away some cost seg. You need to be out there doing that and going through. Thanks. I see some answers coming through. I do wish you guys would plow us with some more.
So the one thing I just sent, the question about, and I think it's still posting, so forgive me, a couple of people, where do I get my marketing toolbox? Portal.
Homepage.
.gmgsavings.com. You have to be logged in. Portal.gmgsavings.com. Thank you. And that, once you're there, you have a login already. You should have it. You should know it. If you don't, reach out to support. Log in. It's right there on the home page. You click it. It's going to take you there. And if you haven't had a time yet, a lot of you are new. We had a huge influx in January, starting the new year, which was amazing. And if you haven't had time to kind of go through it, set aside an hour or two. And honestly, you're going to be thankful because once you get in there and you've made your way through all of your tools, you're going to be like, wow, this is amazing. I know exactly what I want to do now. Instead of being overwhelmed or unsure of what you want to do, everything is right there. So take a few minutes to get in and kind of familiarize yourself with it.
So I want to thank everybody for attending. Get out there and get some clients to your page. Don't wait for a couple weeks. Don't wait for more training. Don't wait for anything. Don't wait to develop a plan. You have your script. You have your email templates. You have your social templates. You should be getting multiple clients every single day. Think about that. Like you had like this, you're giving away free money. You're not selling anything. So you should be out there getting hundreds of new clients in your own community. Every restaurant, every car dealership, every funeral home, every hotel, every commercial building that you drive. I mean, just drive down Main Street. Kendra, look to the left, look to the right. That's your client base. Every building. Walk in, talk to them about that. Thanks, Don. Thanks, Chuck. Thank you, everybody. And go in and go do this. You don't need to know anything. You just need to know, hi, my name's Ryan. I work with car washes here in Southeast Michigan. That's your pitch. I help find specialized tax incentives. I saw your establishment. We've built a calculator. I want to show you what you'd qualify as a car wash. That's it. Okay? And go out there with your tablet, your smartphone, your Chromebook, whatever it is, and go out there and just use this and have some dialogue with people. That's my advice for you if you want to go out and you want to clean up in early 2024. So, Kendra, I think it's my last word. So I'll let you close this out.
Thank you, everybody, for staying with us for the extra time. And thank you for engaging, because it really makes this work. As we mentioned in the beginning, new format, new year, new success, that cornerstone's in place. Anything that you need that we didn't address today, the support department is here. And let us know what you want to see us cover for the next broadcast next month. Watch for the wrap-up email that'll come out in a couple of hours. And just thank you for being a part of the team. We look forward to your success in 2024.